Morning folks. Right, today we're going to do something different. The rear wiper on this Mercedes A180 isn't working, so we're going to have a look and find out why. Now, first thing I'm going to check, I'm going to pull this off, which apparently isn't very easy, and I'm going to check the wires and make sure there's no broken wires in there. Now, when this wiper started failing, it didn't fail instantly. It started working intermittently, and then the last day I was using it, it was switched on. It was going on when it felt like it, and then it stopped altogether. So I'm going to check for a broken wire first. So get a plastic tool, prise this cover off. Right, so I've taken the covers off. There's no obvious broken wires, so what I'm going to do now is strip the back, have a look at the motor. Right, just get a plastic tool under the sides here, prise them out, and then the whole thing's clipped on. Just pull the clips and it all comes off, and there's your motor. So what I'm going to do is unbolt the motor, unclip it, take the wiper blade, take the wiper arm off, and see if the motor itself is seized up, because apparently they're quite notorious for doing this. Before I take the motor off, I'm just going to pull the plug out. I'm just going to check across the plug and see if there's any power there. Now, this is a bit awkward because these things only work intermittently. So what you've got to do is stand there and wait and see if you get an intermittent power across it. So we'll put the ignition on. We'll put the rear wipe on. I heard the relay click, so there's power there at least. I know the rear wash works. We'll turn the radio off. So what I'll do, go back now and see if I've got power on the rear pins. I can't hold the camera while I'm doing that, so I'll just check it. Well, I've checked it and I've got 12 volts across both the pins, so it looks like the motor's gonna have to come out. It's just 3 10mm bolts. Let's get the motor out. One here, one here, one here. So we'll whip those out. And then the motor should just fall out, and that's it. Now, apparently what happens is the motors seize on this shaft, which I think is possibly what's happened here. So we're going to put a load of WD-40 down it and then give it a wiggle and see if we can get it to free off. Right, having had a look at it, I'm going to take all these tiny little bolts out, release this cover, and then see what I can see from there. So these are T20 star drives, so we'll whip those out and see what we can see. Took the bolts out, took the top cover off, and it came off the sleeve quite easily once I gave it an initial twist. I did spray this with WD-40 yesterday, and I think that has soaked through it and it was ready to come off when I gave it a tug. So we'll put this back on. So that goes back on that way, I think. Which way on does it go? So what I've done so far is I've de-rusted the drive, and if you go underneath here and prise this cover up, you will find you can get that cover off, lift it up, and down here where the motor is, there's two contacts here and here, which are just touch contacts. Where this circuit comes through to the motor, these are the two contacts that go direct into the motor to drive it. These two here just touch against the contacts, and they were both quite badly corroded. So you can get a screwdriver, I'm not going to do it again, but you can get a screwdriver underneath these, prise these tracks out, and then you can clean the contacts and put them back in again, which is what I've done. And now I've done that, clip that back on, it all seems to work. So you've got three 1, 2 and 3 on here, which is your 3 terminals. 3 is the earth, 2 is the park, and 1 is the power. So if I put a battery across, which is quite hard to do while holding the phone, but if I put a battery on earth on terminal 3 and live when I get hold of it on terminal 1, so I'll just get them in the right place in my hand. So try and get my hand out of the way of the camera, trying to hold the camera and hold the wire at the same time. So that goes on to terminal 3, that goes on to terminal 1, if I can get them on, and that's it, the motor's working. You can see it's sparking and it's working. If you go 3 and 2, it'll go back to the park position. That's it. So it works. So now I know the motor's good, I can fit it back in, and if I've got any other problems, then it's just going to be something in the electrics, but I know the motor's good now. So motor's back in, plugged in, time to give it a test. So I'll switch it off, ignition on, and what have we got? Let's have a look. Does it work? Yes! Working rear wiper. And all that was 2 dirty contacts in the motor. So, simple as that. About a 20-minute fix. And it's done. Just got to put it all back together now.